It's Sunday Fun Day in Springfield. The first full week of the inaugural Women's Pro Baseball League season wraps up tonight with an East Coast clash, a rematch from less than 24 hours ago. Fans filing in for another night at the ballpark, no better way to spend it. And welcome everyone back here to Robin Roberts Stadium. I'm Jenna Becerra. AJ Andrews will join us down on the field shortly. I'm also excited to welcome in a new member of the broadcast team. He'll be with us this next week, Max Kelton. Welcome to the WPBL.
Thanks so much, Jenna. And how about these Boston Hunters? They desperately needed a hero, and soaring in comes Denver Bryant.
She had been knocking at the door offensively all season long so far, and it finally paid off. She got her first hits of the season yesterday, including a key double going opposite way. That was part of a 7-run sixth inning that made the difference. She's brought in a run every single game so far this season. Her defense over at third base has also been absolutely on point.
Bryant and the Hunters will face Jackie Reynolds on the hill for the Heights this evening. Her battery mate behind the plate, Danae Benitez, the hottest hitter in all of baseball.
Well, if you look up league leader in the dictionary, you're going to see Danae Benitez. She is at the top in multiple offensive categories. She already made history with the first home run on the league in opening night, and that just opened the floodgates. Off the scoreboard, showing off the power. She went yard in back-to-back at-bats yesterday. That was 3 of her 4 RBIs. Double-digit hits, double-digit RBIs, 4 dingers, but also hitting .833. So that mix of power and consistency has been lethal for the captain.
Now, Benitez has electrified through the first week and a half or so of WPBL play. Today facing Gigi Schiano on the mound for the Hunters.
And she has come in as a reliever so far, done pretty well in her couple of appearances. This is going to be her first time getting the start, and she's going up against a tough New York lineup. It's going to be interesting to see her strategy.
It's game 2 of 3 in the set between the Boston Hunters and the New York Heights. Don't go anywhere. It's WPBL baseball right after this.
Welcome back once again to Robin Roberts Stadium here in Springfield, Illinois. The Heights and the Hunters go at it once again. The East Coast rivalry continues. And today, Jamal Weeks takes over as the new manager for the Boston Hunters. He started the season as an assistant on Eric Young's LA Queens staff. He played 6 seasons in the MLB and college ball at the University of Miami. AJ Andrews is on the field with the Hunters manager.
Here with the new Hunters manager, Jamal Weeks. Jamal, 6 seasons in Major League Baseball. You coached a few as well in Major League Baseball. You've been under a few different managers and different managing styles. What is the Weeks managing style that's come into the Hunters?
I think it's just a fun, exhilarating style of play. We're looking to get these women in a position where they're growing and developing throughout the season so that we could be a championship team at the end. We're going to bring energy, have fun while doing it, but play a professional style of ball.
he looks familiar. He was the assistant coach for the LA Queens. You've been able to see the Hunters play, competing against them. What is something that you really like about this team that you want to continue to build off of as the manager?
Well, watching the game yesterday when they won, the resiliency of the team, coming in today, seeing how they were attentive to information, a new manager, new way, new style of things, just seeing how they're ready to retain and grow. I think that this team is resilient. I think that they're going to show up a lot better than maybe what we're seeing in the beginning with a rough start, but I think they're about to flow.
All right, Jamal Weeks, it's about to flow. We're about to go. Coming up next after the break.
Number 21, Claire Echols. Leading off for Boston, designated hitter number 4, Kate Blunt. Second base, number 25, Edith Galea. Batting third, right fielder, number 55, Molly Addison. Batting fourth, in left field, number 13, Takara Helenes. Batting fifth, third baseman, number 2, Denver Bryant. Batting sixth, shortstop, number 3, Wayne Adjun. Batting seventh at first base, number 18, Micah Dumay. Batting eighth, center fielder, number 33, Gabby Haas. Batting ninth, catching, number 17, Beth Greenwood. Pitching for the Hunters, number 31, Gigi Sciano. And it's time to introduce our umpires for tonight's game. Behind the plate is Brian Delp, and our face-on is Annie Monticello. Thank you for joining us tonight and being part of WPBL history. Have a great night tonight, umps.
We welcome you back here to Springfield, Illinois. Boston Hunters, New York Heights, game 2 of the set. And there is Rocky Henley, the first-year head coach for the Heights. She is a visionary in women's baseball. Not a bad time to take a look at her starting lineup today. And this is one of the hottest lineups in all of WPBL at this point. There is so much power. Tonight's starting lineup for the Heights is presented by Horace Mann. Danae Benitez is the name that stands out, but look at that batting average.
Absolutely monstrous. But then look at the top of the order. Yonatani, she has been a little underrated so far this season. She's hitting .750. She moves up to that leadoff spot. Look to her to try to set the tone today for the Heights.
This has been a team that has been so good top to bottom. Frankly, anywhere in the lineup can really hurt you. As for the umpires today, Brian Delp calling balls and strikes, Annie Monticello, the field umpire. And we do want to send along some well wishes and an update. Yesterday's home plate umpire, Steve Berardino. It was very hot and a humid day, and he left yesterday's game with heat exhaustion. But his wife did post a message on the WPBL Facebook group saying Steve is fine, and wanted to thank everyone for their well wishes and care on the field.
A lot of gratitude for what the whole crew does here at the WPBL.
Now with Boston taking the field, there is Denver Bryant. She was yesterday's player of the game. It was the Hunters who came from behind, scored 9 unanswered runs in the late innings after falling behind 6-0 through the first 4 innings of play. They take the field here as today's home team, and Gigi Sciano on the mound for the Hunters. It's her first start.
She's actually tied for the league high in terms of games finished. She has 2 already under her belt. Coming in as a reliever, she's played baseball since she was 5 years old, and she is going to get the start for the very first time on the bump for the Hunters. She had a nice outing last time, 3 2/3 thrown, 5 hits, couple of earned runs she allowed, and very efficient for the most part, and she has been someone they can rely on, so getting an opportunity straight out of the pen.
The Berrysburg, Pennsylvania native who gets her first start. Here's the defense that'll back her up, and you look at Denver Bryant over at third base. Micah Dumais is over at first. I believe this is her first start in the field, Jenna.
It is. Dumais over at first, and then you look at Padgham at shortstop. They both pitched yesterday. Now they're getting that opportunity on the defensive end to start in the field. Greenwood also back behind the dish.
Now, this defense has been one of the best in all of WPBL to this point, tied for the highest field percentage. Looking to back up Schiano on the mound, and you look at Dumais over at first base. Her pitching has been the story for the Hunters. We'll see if she can work it on the offensive side today. Her first time getting the start in the lineup.
Has gotten a couple of at-bats, but now she's going to have the opportunity to start things off.
Almost ready to go.
And Gabby Haas in center field. She has been flashing the leather. A full extension catch in the season opener that caught everyone's attention. She'll be anchoring that outfield as she has been all season long.
So the top of the order is dangerous. There's Val Perez in the on-deck circle. She'll be up second in this inning. Natsuki Yonatani, one of the unsung heroes for this Heights team early on. She steps into the batter's box. Game 2 of the series, New York and Boston. We are underway with a ball upstairs.
Mentioned that Yonatani hitting .750. She's second in the league in that category. A lot of attention on Danae Benitez in that number 3 spot, as there should be. She's leading in so many categories, but Yonatani has been absolutely reliable and clutch for this Heights team.
That's in there for a strike. First batter of the ball game, Yonatani. She has been in the 2 spot of the order for the previous 3 games, but after being so effective, she moves up to the leadoff spot. She swings and misses at strike 2. Here's Schiano. That is just upstairs for ball 3. The count runs full to the first hitter, Yonatani. Look at that batting average. You can only dream about numbers like that. Here's the pitch. Grounded over to Bryant, and it sneaks by the glove. A leadoff single for Natsuki Yonatani as the hot bat keeps on rolling, and the Heights off to a hot start.
Bryant has been solid over at third base, and she takes accountability right there, saying my bad to her teammates. She has been knocking down a ton, but this one, she waits back on the heels and lets it come up on her. It sneaks up, can't make a play on it. And Yonatani's hitting the ball hard, hitting it in play, and that's when good things happen. So the Heights get a break.
Goal there, you gotta attack the ball. And Bryant tapped her chest. She said, that's on me. Let's get him right here. Now Val Perez digs in. That's field umpire Annie Monticello, just making sure Schiano has all the right stuff. First start for Schiano. She's been really sharp out of the bullpen for the Hunters, and that's been one of the highlights for this Hunters team so far this season. Their bullpen has been great. They just wanted to get the starters more involved and a little bit more lengthy performances as strike 1 rolls in.
3.86 ERA, super small sample size this early on, but a solid 4 2/3 innings that she has pitched so far. Again, both coming in relief.
The pitch. Line drive into the glove of Bryant. She fires back over to first, and it skips away from Dumais. On to second base, Yonatani. Well, Bryant had the right idea. She had to get it over there quickly. Dumais just couldn't keep it in front of her. There's one away, but a runner in scoring position for the Heights.
A nice snag that we see defensively over there, but a tough turnaround that she had to have. She wasn't that far off of first base, so everything had to be exactly on point for her to have a chance. But Yonatani takes advantage.
Here comes danger. It's Benitez who lines this into left field. That's over the head of Takari Eldenez. From second base, Yonatani scores. It's the Heights on the board in the first inning.
Benitez just continuing her production, already leading the league in the RBI category, and the aggressiveness to take a hack at the first pitch. Just one hops the wall out there. Absolute shot.
Now a runner on first base. And the first pitch into Kylie Lawners, outside for ball one. Just one away here in this opening inning. The pitch. That's skipped in.
Nice job by Greenwood there to just turn into a wall, let that hitter chest protector stay in front. Already saw Yonatani on the base paths being aggressive, keeping a close eye on Benitez now at first.
That's hammered deep out to left field. It's hugging the line and just foul. You mentioned a good point, Jenna. Behind the dish today for the Boston Hunters is Beth Greenwood. It's not Hyuna Kim, who was the first-round pick for the Hunters and typically does get the start at battery.
And Beth Greenwood has been back behind the dish for the Hunters so far this year. She's a player coach, so she played baseball at Rochester collegiately, but she's also been a coach. She's coaching at Vassar, the pitching coach on that staff, and has done developmental coaching as well in the minor leagues.
She played when she was younger, didn't know how she would work the ball or the game into her career. She just knew she wanted to be around baseball. This is her first true love, and she gets the start behind the plate tonight. That pitch in there for a strike, and the throw down to second, sails into center. Benitez with her fourth stolen base this season. One of the things that is most surprising about Danae Benitez, it's not just her power, but her speed too.
That's the thing, a multi-dimensional player. She leads the league with 4 stolen bases now after that one right there. It's every single aspect of her game. She brings it 100%.
That's part of what Rocky Henley preaches. This team is going to be aggressive, jump on pitches early. Lowest number of walks among any of the 4 teams in the WPBL. With a runner on second base, Sciano, the pitch. Swung on and skied to shallow left field. 2 down.
An important out to get there to be able to retire the cleanup hitter in Lawners. She's had her moments offensively early on. Was 1 for 3 against the Firebells when the Heights got their first ever win. That's a big out.
Catherine Murphy looking to keep the inning alive. First pitch upstairs for ball 1. Sciano missed inside. Well, you look at Benitez over at second base, and she's about halfway to third on a secondary lead. Seriously aggressive on the base path.
They're going to keep being aggressive.
That's upstairs, ball 3.
Until shown otherwise. Greenwood has the most stolen bases in terms of attempts against her so far. That was number 8. So until proven otherwise, the Heights are going to keep running.
You question whether Murphy has the green light. The pitch. Ball 4. So the inning stays alive. Murphy on first. Second base, it's Danae Benitez. Gigi Schiano trying to figure her way out of the first. Benitez drove home her 12th run of the season on a deep single out to left. That got the Heights on the board. Now Alyssa Zettelmoyer. Strike one.
Zettelmoyer has really settled in offensively. She went 2 for 3 with a double. Last time out against the Heights, she did well on the mound as well, closed the game out. She's got hits in the last couple of games for the Heights.
Yeah, Benitez is really moving around on second base. With a runner on second, it's difficult to find your stride for Schiano. Remember, her first start. Gotta imagine the jitters are fluttering a little bit.
And it's understandable, and you're trying to keep an eye. You have 2 runners on now. There's more traffic to have to navigate as a pitcher, as the catcher as well. Greenwood, the battery together. They have to manage that in addition to the pitches.
Big spot with 2 on and an 0-2 count. Schiano. That's outside, and Benitez takes the extra bag. It's a double steal. They'll each move into scoring position. Better yet, Benitez to third, to second base Murphy. First now unoccupied, and it remains 2 down.
A good read in the dirt on that one, too. Nothing Greenwood could do.
1-2. That's just away, nearly got her. Well, the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes, and you gotta imagine in the Boston Hunters field, they're telling Schiano, focus on the batter. You got 2 outs, get this one here, let's get into the dugout. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and tapped foul.
It was a nice defensive swing right there from Zettelmoyer. That was really a little down and away, honestly, but she knew too close to take with 2 strikes, so she just gets it out of there to get another chance.
Schiano swung on and skied to center. Gabby Haas hauls it in for out number 3. The Heights tag the Hunters for 1. Danae Benitez with an RBI. It's the Hunters to the plate when we come back.
Stand to your safety, please stay alert at all times. Foul balls can leave the playing field without warning. If you see a ball coming your way, please protect yourself and those around you. Just make a good catch. Thank you. Enjoy the game. Women's Pro Baseball League proud to be sponsored by some of the best. Let's take a moment to applaud and appreciate our founding partners. Propelling Sport, Dick's Sporting Goods, ESPN, Olivia Travel, Horace Mann, Cute and Grace, iHeartRadio, New Era, ProLook, and Scripps Sports Network. Thank you so much for your support of the WPBL.
Jamal Weeks, the new Hunters manager, the 6-year pro, and we talked with him. AJ Andrews caught up with him before the ball game. Boy, he's got a lot of energy.
Yeah, love to see the enthusiasm. He knows what it's like to be in the player's shoes and now getting to lead the way for the Hunters.
Tonight's starting lineup for the Boston Hunters is presented by Horace Mann. Molly Pattison in the 3 spot. She's got 3 hits for the Hunters this season. She has held it down.
Leading the team with a .500 average. And Bryant, by the way, moves back up a little bit. Got her first hit yesterday of the season, plural. And she was in the 7th spot, moves back up to number 5 today.
Here's Jackie Reynolds on the mound for the Heights from the wind and the first pitch. In there for a called strike, Kate Blunt, the designated hitter at the plate. Here's Reynolds on the mound. Blunt skies this foul on the right-hand side, and Reynolds quickly ahead 0-2. This is the first start for Jackie Reynolds. Her first appearance didn't go as planned. That's what you get early on in this WPBL season, some redemption arcs.
Yeah, she came in to relieve on opening day, took a hard luck loss as the Queens came back.
Softly grounded to the left-hand side. Zettelmoyer fires to first, and it's in time. There's one away.
And that's what you want in your first start. Just produce a grounder for your defense, moving to her left really nicely to center that ball as she fields it and firing over to first. Routine makes it look easy.
They call it the hot corner, but that's a slow roller. Zettelmoyer had to be, flexible with her feet right there. Got to be on the move. As ball one missed upstairs, and typically they teach the third baseman to shade over and steal that from short with the momentum rolling toward first.
Yeah, anything you can cut off, go for it, as long as you have the momentum behind you to make that throw. But the communication has to be there as well between your shortstop and your third baseman, and a feel. And that's something that's going to build over time throughout the season for all of these teams as they play together.
The 2-0. That's outside for ball 3. Jenna Becerra, the former Stanford third baseman herself, a thing or two about that hot corner.
It's a fun place to play, and I appreciate how much great defense that we have seen in this league across the board over at third base. Knocking things down, going all out. I love it.
That's inside for ball 4. Edith DeLea earns the 4-pitch walk. We just a moment ago saw a split screen of the 2 third basemen who have each gotten action early through the first frame.
It's going to be a crucial part of the defense. Really, the left side of the infield gets a lot of action. Shortstop is the anchor, really, of the infield, but third base can be an underrated position.
Pickoff over to first, no dice. Well, Denver Bryant, who started over at third base for the Hunters today, she caught a line drive on a fly in that first frame. Alyssa Zettelmoyer over at third for the Heights. Here's the pitch. That's swung on and missed for strike 1. This is Molly Pattison at the plate. Pattison, the team leader in hits. It's DeLea on first. Here's the pitch. Strike 2.
Great movement, getting her to chase as that drops right off the table.
Got enough of it to stay alive, and you gotta imagine for Jamal Weeks, his first game with the Hunters, you gotta imagine the message was, let's get on the board early. This Boston Hunters team has been comfortable playing from behind through their first 3 games. They'd love to get an early lead. Reynolds, the 0-2. That's grounded to third. Zettelmoyer, it ate her up into left field. Everybody safe on the play, so Pattison over at first. Edith DeLea moves on to second base. And here comes the heart of the order.
This is what the field looks like for the Heights today. We've talked about a few of them. Of course, Benitez, the captain, behind the dish, but Chamero and Murphy, looking at second base and left field specifically, getting their first games to start in the field. So an opportunity for those two. They've come in as a sub, but the first time that they've gotten to start this thing off.
Takara Heldenes That's ball one high. Runners on first and second, one away here. We've already talked quite a bit about third base. It has been the heart of the play so far. That's an error charged to Alyssa Zettelmoyer over at third.
Some tough hops over there. Part of the ball game, right? That's just part of the game. Of course, as a pitcher, you hope your defense can handle it, but they'll have your back when you need it. You'll have their back when they need it.
You mentioned it's a fun position. I always thought it was one of the more difficult positions. The ball gets on you super fast, long throw. It's not easy over there. Here's the 2-0. That's upstairs for ball three. At this point, some command issues early. You got to imagine Takara Heldenes has a red light here in the 3-0 count. Strike one.
Patience, definitely key, right? Already saw a walk issued to DeLea to get on base. Pattison went deep in the count. Already double-digit pitches here for Reynolds. More pitches you see as a hitter, the more comfortable you get.
That's swung on. Sky down the left field line. Quite a run for Catherine Murphy and out of play.
Got you. My bad. Yeah.
Well, a full count here. Reynolds with 2 base runners on and just 1 out recorded here in the first inning. And the payoff pitch. That's upstairs for ball 4. Heldenes takes the trot on to first base. And they're loaded for Denver Bryant. You look at Jemile Weeks. He's the new manager for the Boston Heights. He's also, Boston Hunters, better yet. He's also the first base coach over there and coaching third base Caravan Dew.
Yeah, and this is a similar situation to what we saw Denver Bryant thrive in yesterday. Bases were loaded when she got that 2 RBI double in that massive 6th inning for them to come back and win it. She's getting more and more in a rhythm in the box.
Bryant takes strike one.
And she thought that was high.
I appreciate the emotion coming out of these players. One away and the bases loaded for Bryant. She was up in a similar situation like this yesterday. You know, as you mentioned, Jenna, and I think one of the keys to building narratives around these players, it starts in clutch moments like this.
And she had been putting the ball in play, right? She hadn't had a hit yet till yesterday, but she had an RBI in every single game. So it was just a matter of time for her to get that monkey off her back.
Grounded to the left side. It's through for a base hit. 1 run's in. And everybody else will go station to station. We've got a tie game. Denver Bryant does it again.
And another one. She already leads the team in RBIs. That's her 6th of the season. Gets on top of this a little bit, pulls it just a touch, opening up that front side. But again, something on the ground can make things happen. A tough read over there by Perez. It skips right under her glove. You have to stay down in those situations. But the Hunters, once again, starting to get something going.
That's 4 straight runners on. Rain Padgham takes strike one. She's in the 6th spot of the order, starting at short today. She pitched yesterday, a 2-way player. See if she can tack on for the Hunters here, who look for their first lead of the ball game. Here's Reynolds. Padgham takes ball 1 upstairs.
We've seen Padgham on the mound, of course, but we've seen her in the lineup and in the field as well. Scored a run, had a walk against the Queens earlier this week.
That's strike 2. Padgham has an opportunity to give Boston a little bit of momentum. This team scored 9 runs in the late innings yesterday to win against the Heights. The 1-2. Padgham staying patient, holds off on ball 2. You look at how this inning has played out. Quite a few grounders to the left-hand side and out from the first batter of the inning. And then everybody else has been safe on base. Padgham on the ground, and it hits the glove of Zettelmoyer. She takes the sure thing at home and saves a run. Everybody else safe on the play. There's 2 away.
It's a great job by Zettelmoyer to stick with that. That's situational awareness, knowing you have that force at home. You want to save the run. So the runner hesitating because she might have caught that in the air and she would need to get back to third base. So because of that, plenty of time for Zettelmoyer to get it in after the bobble.
That's spot on, and there's no other option right there. Now with 2 away, the bases loaded. Micah Dumais. That's strike 1. Dumais, who earns the start at first base today. She threw 3 scoreless in relief yesterday, earned the win for the Hunters. Allowed just 1 hit on the mound. That's strike 2. Reynolds staying poised, looking to get out of this jam. And the 2-strike pitch. Got her! That's strike 3! Jackie Reynolds. She allowed 1, but 3 runners stranded. On to the second we go. Under the sunshine here in Springfield, Illinois, we move to the second inning, a 1-1 ball game. Each team left a little bit stranded on the base paths. The Heights got on the board first with the league-leading 12th RBI from Danae Benitez, but Gigi Schiano left 2 stranded. Then for the Boston Hunters, Denver Bryant, yesterday's player of the game, drove home the tying run in the bottom half of the inning, but 3 runners would load the bases and stay there as Jackie Reynolds got out of a jam. Here we are for the top half of 2. It'll start with London Studer. On the ground to second base, where it's gobbled up. Edith DeLea makes the play, and there's 1 down.
An efficient first out. That's exactly what Schiano needed. Her defense having her back right there with the routine plays. Already crossed that 20 pitch mark, now above 25. So threw more pitches. The Heights saw more pitches from her last inning. So as efficient as possible in the second inning, that's her goal.
Strike 1 into Elodie Chimero. Elodie checked that, Chimero. And an appeal down to first. So a 1-1 count. Line shot, fair up the left field line. Chimero takes a turn. Helen Days puts up the arms as that ball skips out of play. It'll be a double for the 8-hole hitter. Elodie Chimero with the start at second, and a 1-out, 2-bagger for the Heights.
Her first time in the starting lineup for the Heights, and she's taking advantage of the opportunity. Turned on that ball nicely, but got the hands inside to keep it fair down the left field line. Nice piece of hitting.
So the second straight inning for the Heights with a runner in scoring position. And in the 9 spot, Claire Eccles takes strike 1.
Eccles has been productive in that 9 spot. Last time out, had a sac fly RBI, a single.
Grounded over to first. Micah Dumais with the start, handles it. The runner who's from second to third, Elodie Chimero, now just 90 feet away from scoring.
I don't mind that at bat, right? You move your teammate up a base. They're only 90 feet away now from potentially taking the lead and turn it over to the top of the order with one of your hottest hitters in Natsuki Yonatani.
Yonatani, who singled in her first at bat today and came around to score. Talk about a hot hitter. And Jenna, a ground ball like that, that's what I like to call a handshake at bat. Both teams will take it. They'll like that deal. On the ground and foul left side, but the Heights move up a runner. Now she's at third, a good chance of scoring their second run of the ball game. Boston Hunters buying out. Everybody's happy. Off the end of the bat, Yonatani now in a 1-2 count. She's got 9 hits this season. It's the 4th game of the year for the New York Heights. Moved up from the 2 spot of the order to the leadoff spot this evening. Just away.
That was a good pitcher's pitch right there. You're ahead in the count. Try to get her to chase slightly outside the zone, but good discipline.
You don't want to give anything over the middle to a hitter this dangerous. You can kind of dance around it. Here's the 2-2. That's in there for called strike 3. With a runner on third, Skianos strikes out Yonatani. Let's go to the bottom of the second.
Check out all there is to see, do, even explore at visitspringfieldillinois.com.
Hello, all you amazing WPBL fans. It's a beautiful day for baseball. We're going into the bottom of the second inning. And it's been an historic start to the WPBL season. And some memorabilia from opening weekend has officially been delivered to the Baseball Hall of Fame. The first pitch from the first game And dugout lineup cards from each of the inaugural games will be preserved in Cooperstown. Josh Walrich from the Hall of Fame pictured there with the lineup cards.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's out in the Hall of Fame in the first pitch of Game 1. And that's worth more than $1 million at this point in my eyes. Now, what we missed just a moment ago, hit batsman to lead off this inning. That's Gabby Haas in the 8th spot, who is now on first base. Jackie Reynolds back on the bump. And the first pitch right down the pipe to Beth Greenwood. Greenwood, who starts behind the dish today. Boston loaded the bases and would score 1 in the first frame. And Greenwood, who got the start in place of Hyuna Kim, the Hunters' first-round pick, 4th overall. That's upstairs. And you got to wonder how these managers begin to manage these players and their rest through the season. This is a marathon, and it's difficult to keep your body healthy through the sprint. Skied into center. Claire Eccles camps under it, and there's one away.
That's something that the managers have talked about. They're really listening to the women on their rosters and how their bodies feel. This is the first full week of action, so Rocky Henley, Jemile Weeks, they're going to be having those conversations with their team to understand how are you feeling. You have some off days coming up. How can we manage those as best as possible? It's a learning process for everybody.
I think the players, too, who are still learning their bodies and making sure that they're ready to go, and that's part of it. It's a communication aspect. As we move to the top of the order here for Kate Blunt, these players have to communicate with the coaching staff and the managers to talk about whether their bodies are ready to go and play at their best. You know, as a former player, Jenna, what's that like, that communication process? Sometimes you got to have the hard conversations with your coaches.
Well, there has to be trust in that situation, right? And trust is something that you build. That's what these teams are building right now. That's what the managers are trying to foster.
There's a throw down from Benitez. And on the money, Gabby Haas caught stealing.
Benitez says, not on my watch. She threw out Denver Bryan at third base yesterday, this time all the way down to second. We keep talking about her offense because how can you not? But the defense also on point.
She makes it look easy, doesn't she? 2 down. That's fouled away. So a ball and 2 strikes to Kate Blunt. Jackie Reynolds a pitch away from getting out of this second inning, having faced the minimum. Blunt grounded out in her first at bat today. The 1-2. That's inside and low.
Blunt getting going offensively is crucial for the Hunters.
Out to short on a soft roller to Val Perez, who charges, fires, and got her! What a play! Perez backing up the arm of Jackie Reynolds, who faces just 3 in the second. High-level play onto the third.
Fans, we ask that you pull out your cell phones, scan the QR code on the video board as we officially launch our WPBL Fan Zone. You want to stay up to date with the latest WPBL news? It's the best way to do so. Countdown to game time, game day programs, tickets, merch, so much more. Grab your phones, scan the QR code, and join all the WPBL fun.
A lot of firsts this week at the WPBL. This is the first close-up shot I've seen of such a scrumptious meal. We have maybe 1 or 2 jalapenos in there as well. That's what you can get here at Robin Roberts Stadium in Springfield. Now on to the 3rd inning. Gigi Schiano back on the mound. Jenna, we've seen a lot of good play. We've seen a lot of good food. You have perspective from each corner, by the way. And one of the things that I want to talk about is how tough this play is to make for Val Perez.
Well, it's on the run, right? So you have to be accurate, but also first base, the stretch right there, that is so underrated. I'm a big believer that if you have a strong first baseman, that can make a huge difference for the infield. So London Studer doing a nice job of helping Perez out. It is a 2-person play.
Spoken like a true first baseman yourself, Jenna. Oh, a walk to Val Perez. Val Perez just made that play. Now she gets on base to lead off this top of the 3rd inning. It was the Heights who got on the board early in the top half of the 1st. Boston would answer in the bottom of the frame. Now Danae Benitez, who drove home that run. It's her league-leading 12th RBI of the season. All one.
I think the approach against Danae Benitez, too, is nothing over the white of the plate.
Clobbered deep to center field, and goodbye! Hey, Danae! Heights 3, Hunters 1. Her league-leading 5th home run of the season. Danae Benitez on the Heights and looking down upon everybody else.
I said you can't throw it over the white of the plate. That is exactly why. Belt high, right in her wheelhouse. She will make you pay. She's already done it 5 times. Take a look at this location. Over the white, right at the belt. Benitez, no hesitation. One of the deepest parts of the ballpark out there in center field. She has been showing off the power. Hit the scoreboard yesterday.
And that ball was way gone. It climbed well over the fence and more. Kylie Lawners at the plate looking to follow this up. You know, AJ Andrews and I caught up with Benitez earlier today, and she was talking about her leg kick. And banana ball at 90-mile-an-hour pitch, she doesn't really kick the leg, doesn't get the same power, but here a little bit more time, and that's allowed her to really kick it into gear and hit the ball a little bit further.
And that has to do with timing. Your load and your stride is where everything starts, so it's really in your lower half as a hitter. Whatever that rhythm is to get you on time, that front foot down.
That's a fair ball up the 3rd base line as it kicks into the corner. Lawners onto 2nd base, digging for 2. She'll slide in safely. All 3 batters have reached for the Heights. Got a little bit of momentum for New York here in the top of the 3rd.
Timing was spot on for that pitch from Kylie Lawners. Take a look at the foot getting down right as she starts to transfer her weight right on the chalk line. When you see it, powder in the air. Perfect location.
And Catherine Murphy takes strike 1. You know, Jenna, one of the things I've noticed about the early goings in the WPBL is we're susceptible to seeing the big inning. Gigi Schiano has to cut it off here and quick. Swung on deep out to left field. But that ball is hauled in for out number 1. Takara Heldenays had a great jump on it.
Much needed out for Schiano right there, but it's a good point, Max. We have seen every single team in this league show their ability to have a big inning, and that is just passing the bat, stringing together solid at-bats, one after the other. Could be a walk, could be a hit, could be a Danae Benitez bomb, whatever it is. To be able to do that consistently 1 through 9, every team can.
Line drive to short, caught on the fly. They doubled her up at second base. Rain Padgham with quick reflexes. And that's a good way to get out of the inning. So we see a flash of the bat from Benitez. She's driven home all 3 runs for the Heights today.
We'd like to thank the following supporting partners helping make the WPBL inaugural season happen. Executive Transportation, Red Weber Neighborhood Loans, Key Health, Nob Hill Landscape Company, Rose Scoreboard, Sagron Mass Transit District, Springfield Clinic, University of Illinois Springfield Athletic Training, Whistle Stop, X Golf, Springfield, Illinois, and Stratus Networks. Thank you for your support of the WPBL.
Into the light, that home run ball went for the New York Heights and Danae Benitez. Her league-leading 5th home run. She's driven home all 3 runs today for the Heights. Now Boston plays from behind. And the first pitch for DeLea, driven to left where it's hauled in. Catherine Murphy laying out for it. There's one away.
That is not an easy play to make, and it's her first start out there, by the way. She's keeping the feet moving and getting extended, anything towards the line. If it gets past her, if it goes off her glove, that is extra bases. So you're putting it all out on the line, literally, with that attempt.
Well, the Heights are playing a great game to this point, as ball 1 misses to Molly Pattison. Pattison reached in her first plate appearance on an error from the third baseman Zettelmoyer. It looks like they had it as a single. Regardless, she got on base, moved her way around to third, but she was stranded there with the bases loaded in the opening inning. Jackie Reynolds ahead of the count. Ground ball fair, first base side. Pattison takes a turn. The fire in from Yonatani, and the relay throw comes in a bit too late. Molly Pattison on second base now with a 1-out, 2-bagger. Coming up here in the cleanup spot, Takara Heldenays. And A.J. Andrews has some more down on the field.
Thanks, Max. Yeah, earlier you were talking about the recovery that these women undergo and what is it they really focus on. Well, I talked to Denver Bryant earlier today during BP, and she let me know that actually Takara has been helping a lot with that. When she's not playing baseball, she is a pro rugby strength and conditioning coach. So she'll take them sometimes through some recovery mechanisms, through some drills, through some rehab. She's been one of the people that's really been keeping the Hunters in tip-top shape this season so far.
Thanks so much, AJ. Awesome stuff. And Heldon Hayes, who's part of the Australian baseball team, she is a really big piece to getting this team in shape and ready to go. We talked about keeping your bodies in the right space to perform and compete at the right level. Heldon Hayes has done a nice job for the Hunters in making sure everybody is in check. That's strike one to the cleanup hitter who walked in her first plate appearance.
And that's an asset, right? That is another dimension to Heldon Hayes as a teammate, let alone as a ball player, to be able to bring that to her squad.
Heldon Hayes puts a charge into this one, deep out to left field. Murphy goes back, and she makes the catch! She slammed into the wall! From second base, Pattison tags. But now that is two unbelievable grabs from Catherine Murphy out in left field in just this inning alone.
No fear going into that wall. You can see she's going back. She keeps the feet moving, extends with the one arm to give herself more reach, holds it up, but then knows she has to get it in as well. But we saw her come in as a defensive sub in the past. Man, she is really making her case here in the starting lineup today.
Jenna, it's just the fourth game, and these players are earning their playing time live as we see it here. Boy, what a terrific play. Let's go down to our Gold Glover, AJ Andrews on the field. AJ, what do you think about a play like that?
Yeah, I love when you guys introduce me as that. Thank you so much. No, but being able to have that no-fly zone mentality, that's exactly what the Heights need and what they have. And to be able to go back on that ball, no fear, running into the fence, desiring to make that play regardless. That is how, I always say, offense sells tickets, but defense wins games. And the Heights are in a close game right now against the Hunters. They're going to have to continue to make those plays in order to come out on top.
Yeah, we've been selling a whole lot of merch. I think AJ just nailed another T-shirt.
Well, AJ Andrews known to have a no-fly zone out there in the green when she plays, so she's going to appreciate it seeing it in this league.
Yeah, speaking of a player who has performed as of late, Denver Bryant now at the plate with two away and a runner on third. That's strike two. Bryant drove home the lone run of the day for the Hunters earlier in the first. 1 for 1 today. Had a single and a ground ball that got by the glove of the shortstop, Val Perez. Reynolds, who's gotten a whole lot of help from left field in this inning. The 1-2. Skied right side. And that's out number 3. London Studer makes the play. Well, Catherine Murphy, she made it look easy, but surely this is not easy. It's just the New York Heights on defense. Let's go to the top of the fourth.
Thank you. That was a great hold, whoever that was. Outfield, great hold, whoever that was, great hold. Way too tight.
All right, 20 seconds have passed. Now, do we finish? Oh, did you finish? We still haven't finished the hot dog, and we just reached the 30-second mark. Yes, we did. The great technique. You good? Okay. Let's see. All right. We're going to start counting down in 10.
And we welcome you back here to Springfield, a hot dog eating contest, and the marvelous Miss Maybell in the stands as Anthony Rizzo tries to put one down. But the New York Heights with a 3-1 lead. We have seen 4 of the top 6 draft picks on display this evening. Let's go to AJ.
there's been so much talent on this field, and I think when you have the number 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6 draft picks playing on this field right now, you have to know that the level of competition is going to be tough. This right now is so far the lowest scoring game we've had this season, 3-1. So I think it is definitely a testament to the talent on the team, how tough it is, and what we're in store for the rest of the season.
AJ, fabulous stuff as always. Yeah, look at how these Hunters have built this roster. It started behind the plate and then adding a little pitching depth.
Half of the top 8 picks in the draft are on the field here today. That's just exciting and fun to watch for some Sunday night baseball.
Leading off for the Heights, first baseman, London Studer.
And now to the bottom third of the order, London Studer in the 7th spot. Studer 0 for 1 today. Sent deep out to left center field. Gabby Haas into the gap. She makes the grab for out number 1. We saw some great defense just an inning ago from Catherine Murphy in the Heights in left field. But Gabby Haas has been just tremendous in center for the Hunters.
Has a lot of range. We saw that diving catch to start off the season in the season opener for the Hunters. That was just an important out as well, the first time they have retired the first hitter.
Haas called upon again. This time it gets by. Chamero onto second base. She'll be held up there by third base coach and manager Rocky Hanley. But she is fired up. It's 2 doubles on the day for Elodie Chamero.
Tough play in the outfield, and let's go back to our Gold Glover, who knows exactly what it's like to play out in the green, AJ Andrews.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, that play was one of the toughest ones because it's the ones where you feel like you can dive. And it looked like to me that Haas was getting ready to dive, but realized later, or too late, that maybe she did not have enough time. So when she pulled up, that's when the ball bounced behind her. So it was a miss, but it was something in which I think she entailed, and what she wanted to do was make that catch, but did not have the time to do so, or realized she wasn't going to be able to do it and wasn't able to get on the hop.
Thanks, AJ. Yeah, it feels like a play like that, either got to go all in one way or another. You have to lay out, or you have to make sure that ball stays in front of you. But aside from that, Gabby Haas has been really good out there. Yeah, and one more note, a little defensive change, Jenna.
Yeah, Allie Schroeder, the captain for the Hunters, she's over at third base. Takes the place of Denver Bryant. We've seen her on the mound. We've seen her in the box. Now in the hot corner.
Well, that's something I hadn't noticed quite yet. Looked like Schroeder and, for that matter, Hyuna Kim, both of the first 2 picks in the draft for the Hunters, they were not in the starting lineup today. But the Hunters now trailing 2. They put Schroeder in, and she is expected to play just a massive role on this team, the captain.
Has a ton of experience under her belt internationally as well coming into this league.
At the bottom of the order, Claire Eccles. Every inning so far, the Heights have had a runner in scoring position. That's a strike. Now the count runs full to Eccles. You know, for what it's worth, Gigi Schiano, she's been solid on the mound. Now, sure, she's bent, but it hasn't been breaking too much. Aside from Benitez, who has driven home all 3 runs, everybody else she's gotten the job done against. And this one is a ball inside as Claire Eccles takes first. You know, that said, we're getting to the top of this order here. Jamal Weeks, his first game as the manager of the Hunters. You wonder how he's going to manage the bullpen.
And that's something every manager is still figuring out as well. It has to do a little bit with how they're managing their bodies and what that looks like, and it has to do with communication as well, which we talked about, and now we're seeing Jamal Weeks go out there to have a conversation.
There's some action in that Hunters bullpen.
Yeah, Paloma Benach, she just got the call up within the last couple of days. The southpaw getting loose. That's part of what it is to be a manager as well, right? Managing the rosters, knowing who to call up when. It's a 15-person roster for each of these teams. So it's lean. We've talked about how important the versatility is. I think that's going to do it for Schiano today.
Her first start, she held the Heights in check. It's the new era call to the bullpen. Let's take a breather. New York Heights 3, Boston Hunters 1 in the top half of 4.
Back at it here in the top of the 4th, and we do have the pitching change. We talked about Paloma Benach. She has been called up for the Hunters, and this is what we can think we're going to see from the lefty. So she does have a 2-seam, a 4-seam, a curveball, and a changeup. She's going to look to sequence those pitches, giving a different look from that left side to the Heights.
And from what I understand, her first outing as well in the WPBL.
That's correct.
So Benach comes in for Gigi Schiano. Schiano got through 3 1/3 in her first start this season. Gave up 3 runs. The 2 runners on base will also be accredited to her if they come in to score. But for your first start, a team that desperately needed a little bit of stability in the starting rotation, Schiano provided just that today.
I think so. You want them to go at least 3. Ideally, they could go the first 4, but 3 solid innings from Schiano, keeping them in the ball game. Now Benach in that position where you're trying to stop some of the bleeding because there's a couple of runners on base, but some force out opportunities here for the defense if you roll something up.
Yonatani shows bunt, a throw down to first, and not in time.
Interesting decision there. Yonatani has been incredibly hot at the plate, the leadoff spot today. Thinking about squaring to bunt. That's fundamental baseball. But maybe you let her swing away here.
Yonatani takes a strike. Well, on first base, Claire Eccles. She was caught about 10 steps off the bag, had to race back a moment ago. Elodie Chamero had a 1-out double. She resides on second. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Benach set from the stretch in the pitch. And remember, it's Beth Greenwood who got the start behind the plate today.
She got the early start back there for the Hunters in this season as well. We did see Kim yesterday.
Line to short and through for a base hit. Now hold up, just advancing 1 base apiece. Natsuki Yonatani with her 2nd hit today. A pair of singles and a 2-for-3 effort thus far.
That's the hot bat that we have been talking about. The runners in that situation only able to move up 1 base because they had to see that ball down. You saw the hops over there from Padgham trying to make that attempt. So see, this is well in the air, but not too far out of reach for Padgham. So they had to make sure that that ball went down to the ground so they wouldn't get doubled off.
Bases loaded for the 2 spot, Val Perez. Popped up in the infield. Should be an infield fly call. And there's 2 down. But despite the bases loaded and 2 away, you just don't want to face Benitez in this situation.
Especially not belt high over the white of the plate, because this is what she does. She punishes pitches. We've seen her do it plenty of times, leaving the yard and even just extra bases in general. She's got the speed, motoring around, truly multidimensional.
Benitez takes ball 1. They'll call a balk, actually. Check that, and in comes the 4th run of the day. All 4 runs have scored with Benitez at the plate. She drove home 3, that 2-run home run. Had an RBI single in the 1st inning, and then this balk leaves first base open. Jamal Weeks wants an explanation.
And for any new baseball fans checking in as well, balks are an illegal motion made by the pitcher that is called by the umpire. When they are called, every runner gets to advance 1 base. So in theory, that's one way to make sure that Danae Benitez does not hit a grand slam.
Yeah, it's a fair point, Jenna. Well, 2 in scoring position nonetheless. Paloma Bonach. Benitez on the ground, 3rd base side, and just to the left of the chalk, foul. But Benitez has 5 home runs this season after her long ball earlier today. That's more than any other team in the WPBL.
And it's been a variety, too. Solo shot, 2-run bomb.
Well, let's see if she can add 3 more. The pitch. Line drive, base. Oh! It was stabbed from short. 1 run does come in. It will be a base hit, an infield single. But boy, that's a tremendous play from Rain Padgham. Quite the lengthy range to get to that ball and save it from skipping into the outfield. And even more so, she saved another run from scoring.
That's the key right there. If you can knock it down the way that she does, because that ball is hit hard. She had to move to her left, knocking it down before it gets to the outfield to make it just the 1 run. Don't know if she needed to make that throw all the way to first base in that situation, but at least it was on line and the 1 hop right to her.
We can now close out the line for starter Gigi Schiano. And the breaking ball in there to Kylie Lawners. Schiano, 3 1/3. 5 runs. And now Paloma Bonach, responsible for the runners at the corners. It's Benitez on first base. On 3rd base, that's Natsuki Yonatani. And Benitez, with 4 stolen bases this season, she also leads the WPL and PBL in that category.
And has mowed down a couple runners on the catching side, so hasn't really had too much of a taste of her own medicine there.
Yeah, talk about 5 tools.
And honestly, the fact that she's been hitting so many home runs and she hit that ball hard on the ground like she just did, that means you're seeing the ball well. You're not over swinging for the fence every time. You're still just doing your thing, extending through the zone, not trying to do too much, and the home runs will come as they have.
Textbook situational hitting, Jenna. Benitez takes off, and is that a balk again?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. See what? Yes. I think field umpire Annie Monticello is calling it a balk. Brian Delp, home plate umpire, conferring, and instead they're going to send the runner back to first. Maybe he was at the plate. It was Lawners who stepped out.
Yeah, I think a conversation between the umpires to make sure they're on the same page, but back to runners on the corners.
Lawners swings and misses. That's strike 3 for the final out of the inning. New York adds 2 more with Benitez at the plate. She drives home her 4th run of the day.
Fix it. You feel the apple?
Yeah, a little too much.
No, it's good.
Like 3/4. I don't adjust myself.
I gotta look at baseball. He's doing a great job.
Well, welcome back to Robin Roberts Stadium. It's the bottom of the fourth, and yesterday the Hunters getting the first win, but they are trailing 5-1 to the Heights as the sun is setting here in Springfield, Illinois. A reminder that Wednesday is Teacher Appreciation Night, proudly sponsored by our founding partner, Horace Mann. For more than 80 years, Horace Mann has believed that the educators shaping our children's futures deserve someone looking out for theirs. Learn more at horacemann.com.
Here we are for the bottom of the fourth inning. Strike one rolls in to Rain Padgham. She pitched yesterday, 0 for 1 at the plate today. She's getting the start at shortstop. Jackie Reynolds back in the bump for the New York Heights, now with a 4-run cushion. It's sent right back behind home plate. Now we nearly had a souvenir. It's coming almost straight to the booth. Here with Jenna Becerra, I'm Max Kelton. AJ Andrews on the field with us as well. Thanks for joining us and spending your Sunday afternoon here at Robin Roberts Stadium in Springfield. Padgham takes a ball upstairs. Well, what else is new? Danae Benitez has pieced together another tremendous offensive outing. She's 3 for 3. She's driven home 4 runs for the Heights.
Yeah,
Ball
4
two.
of the 5 runs are thanks to Danae Benitez, but your teammates have to get on base, and she'd be the first one to tell you that.
That's a great point, Jenna. And by the way, the 5th run, it came with her at the plate, you know, and it was just a balk that allowed that 5th run to score. But as this is swung on and missed, great pitch from Jackie Reynolds. It just tailed away, and it fooled Padgham. There's one down. You know, this New York team, you think about the rest of the teams in this league. Are they kicking themselves because Benitez fell to the 2nd round? Everybody had a chance at her.
It is shocking to think back to that. But Rocky Henley, hey, she's thrilled. Her captain has been unstoppable.
Feel great? Ball still good? I'm good.
Rocky Henley, the manager for this New York team, has to be satisfied with the start from Jackie Reynolds today. She faces Micah Dumais. And Henley, by the way, back in 1994, she's a player on the Colorado Silver Bullets. As Dumais grounds this over to second base. That's 2 down. You know, more on the Silver Bullets. It was a barnstorming team, a women's baseball team that would travel around the country and play college and semi-pro ball games. And, you know, you think about how she played women's baseball back in the day. She then played in the Ladies Professional Baseball League, the California Women's Baseball League as well. And about 10 years ago, she establishes the San Francisco Bay Sox. That's a girls' baseball program, creating the opportunity to play. And now she manages in the WPBL. Her whole life has been women's baseball, and it's a perspective that has certainly benefited the New York Heights players. Grounded fair left side past the diving Zettelmoyer. That's Gabby Haas, who has her first hit of the day, a 2-out single.
If you look at Haas turning on this pitch, you see Zettelmoyer shaded well towards the 5-6 hole, trying to plug it, but it opens up that hole down the line, and Haas takes advantage.
Yeah, she was quite a ways off the line. Now Haas on base for the second time today. And ball one to Beth Greenwood in the 9 spot. 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. Last time Haas was on first base, she tried to steal against Benitez, who showed off the arm and gunned her down.
We talk about the familiarity that the players have with each other across each team. Well, Rocky Henley said she feels like she has a slight advantage over the other managers because of the background you just mentioned, Max. Said she knows about 40 probably of the 60 players at any given time that are a part of this league at once. And that means not only her own team, but the opposing teams as well. So she's got more of a scouting report already in her head just from what she's seen over all those years.
Yeah, she's calculated. That pitch misses low. 3 balls and a strike here to Beth Greenwood. Kate Blunt awaits in the on-deck circle. It'll turn to the top after this. Jackie Reynolds looking to get through inning number 4. The pitch. Greenwood watches ball 4, high and tight. And now 2 on for the top and Kate Blunt.
That's twice through the order now. These hitters have seen Jackie Reynolds on the bump. So yes, a couple of ground outs for Kate Blunt. Possibly an opportunity to get a 2-out rally going now that you have a couple of on and you've seen some pitches.
Strike 1 to Blunt. You know, you look at this 5-1 ball game. New York starts to run away with it. You think, oh, they might cruise to a victory. Hey, just yesterday, 24 hours ago, was 6-0 ball game on to the 5th. Boston would score 9 in the final 3 innings and take the victory.
And Blunt in this situation, she's still looking for her first hit in the WPBL, but they have consistently put her in that leadoff position. So there is faith in her abilities to be there. It's just a matter of finding that hole.
Blunt today, 0 for 2, a pair of ground outs to the left side of the infield.
But if she can get going offensively, being that table setter at the top, that spark plug, that's going to up-level the Hunters.
Strike 2, and clearly she has some speed, right? You know, that's one of the reasons they put her at the top, starting a designated hitter today. But these are the opportunities that you prove to coach you earn your playing time. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the pitch. Softly grounded, left-hand side. Tough play from Reynolds. She comes off the mound and throws it away. Gabby Haas scores from second. And on to second base goes Kate Blunt. Beth Greenwood takes third. Boston has its second run of the day. And with 2 outs, comes to a more dangerous part of the lineup.
That's a tough moment right there for the Heights. You have an opportunity to get out of the inning and help yourself out, but sailing over first base, the reason it's tough is not just because she's safe and because runners advance, but they took extra bases. Blunt turns an error into a double essentially now, being in scoring position.
So it's ball 1 to Edith DeLea. Runners on second and third. It's Blunt on second, Greenwood at third. DeLea, who walked and scored in the first inning, she's 0 for 1. That nearly got her. It's inside for ball 2. Ball 3, and it was a bad miss. Well, Jackie Reynolds got out to a really sharp start through 3 innings. Here we are in the 4th, and we saw yesterday Rocky Henley had a whole lot of faith in her starter. Once they got into the bullpen, it was a bit of a struggle. How long is the leash, you have to ask? And strike one rolls over.
The leash felt a touch long yesterday for the starter, Rakyung Kim. She had a really solid 4 innings, a one-hitter she had going. A tough 5th inning, and then that 6th inning, which ended up being a 7-run spot for the Hunters.
Swung on and lined out to left field. Murphy went in, then twirls around and made the catch for out number 3. Catherine Murphy has flashed the leather thrice today in 3 crucial plays and left as the Heights hold on to the lead.
Let's take a look at our game summary presented by Visit Springfield. Well, the defense has been a factor in this one. A couple of miscues, but some really crucial plays in the infield, in the outfield for both of these teams in key moments. That has led us to 5-2 Heights over Hunters.
Jenna, what a point you make, and you think about as good as the Heights bats have been, Catherine Murphy herself has maybe saved 2 or 3 runs on her defense alone. Now at the plate to lead off the top half of the 5th inning, and back to Paloma Banach, who came on in relief just an inning ago. Murphy sends a charge deep into center field, and Gabby Haas reels it in, going back to the wall. 1 pitch and 1 out for the Hunters in the top of the 5th.
Good barrel on that pitch from Murphy. Solid at bat, right? That's what you're looking for as well. Of course you want the hits, of course you want to find the holes, but if you can just put solid barrel on the ball consistently, putting it in play, that's what Rocky Henley is going to look at.
Kira Izumi is the pinch hitter for the New York Heights. She'll bat in place of Alyssa Zettelmoyer, who started at 3rd base and is in the 6th spot of the order today. Shortstop Izumi. She hails from San Diego. Started the women's club baseball team at USC.
We've seen her defensively over at second base quite a bit. We've seen her on the mound as well. So she is used to being in the starting order for this Heights team.
1 away, base is empty. Banach. That breaking pitch has quite a bit of movement, comes back door and in there for strike 1.
And again, the difference in the look from the righty Schiano getting the start to moving to Banach from that left side.
And Banach came on just an inning ago in a tough situation. Entered the ball game with 2 runners on base. Both those runners would score, but aside from that, no other runs have scored against Banach. It's her first appearance in the WPBL. And strike two comes on into Izumi.
And what she's doing well is painting the corners. Location is everything, really. I mean, even velocity, if it's great if you have it, but if you can locate strategically and have that command, that's when you're really going to see success.
You see Benach getting comfortable with Beth Greenwood. A moment ago, she shook off the first sign, went back to the breaking ball. Now with a 2-2 count, here's the pitch. That's flared to shallow center. And coming on from short, that's Rain Pedgham, who makes the over-the-shoulder grab. There's two down.
That's a nifty play from the shortstop because Haas was a little bit deep in center field, so you know that you might need some more ground covered. And she got a nice jump, first step back. Nice job.
That's ball one to London Studer. She dropped to a knee and the ball dropped with her. So Studer on base for the first time today.
Fundamentals is to see the ball all the way in. The lights are on. She doesn't quite finish the play. She's right there, plenty of time. You got to feel that ball and watch it all the way into the back of the glove.
New York has had a base runner on every inning so far to this point. Elodie Chimero has been so good in the plate in the 8th spot of the order. A pair of doubles. Here's strike one. And you see that they'll rule that an error. Third error of the evening for Boston. That's sent in the air. And the catch made from the pitcher, Paloma Benach. Well, one runner gets on one error, and they'll leave it at that. 5-2, Heights over the Hunters.
It's a beautiful day here at Robin Roberts Stadium. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning between the Hunters and the Heights. And listen, we got food, we got fastballs, and we've got fashion. Okay, coming up on Friday between the Fire Bells and the Queens, we have these scarves that we're giving away to the first 250 fans in the stadium. Listen, you want to be fashionable, you want to look good, and to do that, we're gonna wear these scarves, okay? Also on Saturday, we have country night. So come in your best cowboy hat, cowboy boots, say yee-haw, and watch the balls fly.
I can confidently say that there is nobody I would trust more with my fashion sense than AJ Andrews. Thanks so much, AJ. And this call to the bullpen is the new era call to the bullpen for Jada Lee. New York with a 3-run lead. She has been very sharp, almost unhittable. That's line foul. Straight into the dugout. Might have gotten one of our cameramen. Hey, look out down there.
When Jada Lee got the start and got the win, the first of the season for the New York Heights. That was against the Firebells earlier this week. A solid 5 innings. Just 4 hits she allowed, no earned runs, along with 3 strikeouts. Solid appearance for her, and now she's in that reliever role here. After a nice 4 innings from the starter, Jackie Reynolds, getting through the batting order a couple of times and then some, setting up Lee for success as she takes over.
Off the end of the bat, and Molly Pattison finds a way to get on base. Nice piece of 2-strike hitting. Her second base hit today, her 3rd time on safely. Now it's up to Boston to try and figure out Jada Lee, who has been just stupendous so far in the WPBL.
This is what that outing looked like. Did you take a look at the locations? Getting hitters to chase away, going in with the jam job, utilizing all parts of the zone. She's going to try to do the same thing right here.
And using the entirety of the plate, that's what I saw there, Jenna. Faces outside, jams them inside, up and down, changing eye level. Jada Lee on expert mode as strike 1 comes in to Takara Heldenays. It's the cleanup spot in the order. And Jada Lee moves into this relief spot because New York desperately needs some stability out of the bullpen.
And I like to think of it as 4 quadrants of the strike zone. She's worked that low and away portion. There's up on the outer half and then the same 2 on the inside. So 4 quadrants that as a hitter you have to make sure you cover. And as a pitcher you want to utilize those, changing planes, changing sides of the plate, and then of course changing speeds to keep those hitters off balance.
Molly Pattison has quietly been one of the best hitters in the league, and tonight another 2 for day, has gotten on base all 3 times. She came into this evening leading the Hunters in hits, continues to roll at the plate in the 3 spot. It's a sharp ground ball foul. You know, this Hunters team has gotten spurts from all over. They've just got to string together some hits inning by inning. Here's the 1-2. Lee just missed. You saw a flinch from Brian Delp behind the plate. He almost rung her up, but instead 2-2.
That was a ball or 2 off the plate. Beautiful spot from the pitching perspective.
Lee, and that's downstairs. Now the count runs full as Heldenays has battled back.
Got to give her credit for the eagle eyes up there in the box because those are both very close just around the zone.
Here's the payoff. That swung on and missed for strike 3. Jada Lee sets down Takara Heldenays. There's 1 down.
What Lee did a nice job of right there is just trying to continue attacking the zone, not afraid to go right after hitters. Last time out, she did a nice job getting righties to chase off the plate outside. Does it again right here.
Now to the middle of the order. Denver Bryant started in the 5 spot. She was replaced defensively. And this is Allie Schroeder.
Seen the captain wear a few different hats, whether in the box, in the field, on the mound.
Schroeder was taken as the 5th overall pick in the draft. She lays off the high stuff. Came off the bench today. Still in search of her first hit of the season. Big smile from Allie Schroeder.
She's represented Team Canada, 9-time women's national team member, a couple of bronze medals at the World Cup.
That's yanked outside for ball 3. Second straight full count for Jada Lee on the bump. Danae Benitez, nice flash of the glove on a backhand. Three balls, 2 strikes with a runner on first. And Lee guns it back over there to keep Molly Pattison honest. Gotta imagine the Hunters are a little worried about Benitez behind the plate. I can't imagine they're going to be as aggressive on the base path. And Benitez gloves ball 4. The walk to Allie Schroeder. She scored 2 runs yesterday. Allie Schroeder on base in her first plate appearance today. Molly Pattison on second. It's Schroeder on first. Rain Padgham steps in. Padgham takes a strike low in the zone.
Lee getting that call that time. She's been trying to work that low and outside location.
Strike 2. Padgham 0 for 2 today. A ground out and a strikeout. Here's Lee. That is just out of the zone. Boy, it was close.
So far working the outer half. All 3 pitches she's thrown so far to Padgham.
Yeah, certainly competitive. 1-2. That's high. Right around eye level for Rain Padgham, the shortstop, who pitched yesterday, a 2-way player. Boston scored in the first, added another last inning. Lee in her first inning of work, the 2-2. That's ball 3. So let's get this straight. Molly Pattison opens up the inning with a single, and now it's the 3rd straight batter that Jada Lee has, 1 got in front of, but 2 also worked a full count.
And I think there's been a little bit of analysis, some scouting at this point too, because a lot of the times, if your team's not playing, these players are here and they're watching the games. And they're watching film, they're paying attention to what sequences that opposing pitchers like to go to and rely on. And we've seen a bit of Jada Lee at this point.
That's fouled away. Let's do it all again. Gigi Schiano, who started today's action for the Hunters. Boston looking for a little late run production. Here's the 3-2. That is just outside for ball 4 to load the bases for the bottom third of the order.
What a fight from Padgham there. I mean, really didn't lift the bat off her shoulder. I mean, went 0-2 early on, but then super disciplined after that to get 4 straight balls.
And they were competitive pitches, a lot of them. Now Jada Lee has allowed the bases to load. Micah Dumais, she swings and misses at the first pitch she sees. 0 for 2 today. Dumais had a strikeout early and then grounded out to second base. A chance to cut into a 3-run deficit. Dumais watches a fastball outside. It's Pattison at third. At second base, Schroeder. Padgham at first. Strike 2.
Starts by working up and in to Dumais. Then brings the breaking ball. Now she's got multiple options she could go to here in control.
Upstairs for ball 2, and Dumais yesterday in the 9-6 win for the Hunters over the Heights. She threw 3 scoreless innings of 1-hit baseball, earned the win. Now she can help the Hunters on the offensive side in the 7th spot of the order. The 2-2. That's ball 3. It seems like we've seen a pattern here, Jenna.
Well, early on, it seemed like Lee was attacking the strike zone as much as possible, trying to work around it, obviously trying to have that pinpoint precision when it comes to location. But now, dancing around it a little bit too much.
That's fouled back.
She's getting ahead, and then she's forcing it just a little bit, trying to be too careful after that. Nowhere to put her here, though.
Lee has walked each of the last two batters. Here's the payoff. That is upstairs and laid off of. In comes run number 3 on the walk to Micah Dumais. It's 3 straight walks and just 1 away as the bases remain loaded for Gabby Haas.
It's a
Rocky
cardinal
Henley.
sin.
Excuse me, Jenna, go ahead.
Just a cardinal sin to walk in a run. We've seen it a few times as pitchers in this league are trying to get in a rhythm. And so Rocky Henley knows this is a moment. All right, I need to chat with her right now because there's still just the 1 out with bases loaded. What is the plan? What is the approach? It's trying to let the defense work, try to produce a ground ball, and let them turn a double play.
And that's Claire O'Sullivan, who is warming up, and quickly for the Heights. It's clear that Jada Lee has some of the better stuff that we've seen this evening. She's just got to execute on her spots.
And execution, that's really the hard part in a lot of ways, because you have a plan going into this, right? Like, that is what you talk about with your catcher. That's what you talk about as a team. What is the plan? Whether that's your approach offensively or your approach on the mound. But it's being able to execute the plan. So many things have to go right. It all has to click.
That's yanked away to Gabby Haas, who's 1 for 1 today. She's singled in the 4th. She also was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd inning. She's been on twice. Right now, there's nowhere to put her. Lee working through her first frame. She came on in relief. And a really sharp outing from Jackie Reynolds. You look at Reynolds, who came back. She struggled in relief earlier on during the WPBL season, but as a starter, she was really good today. What are you seeing, Jenna?
I think Reynolds did a nice job of not getting too far behind in the count at any given time. Had a couple of walks, but then settled in after the first inning.
Yeah, it feels like deja vu.
New York has done this before, right? They've taken the lead. This has happened twice. Opening night happened yesterday as well. And late in the ball game, they allow the other team to get the momentum that they need, put up a crooked number,
If
and then it doesn't go their way.
Excuse me, Jenna. If Jada Lee can't get Gabby Haas, you got to imagine it's the last batter. Here's the 3-0. Strike 1 comes in at the letters. Lee has to find it, and fast. This can't become a pattern for New York. Their offense is too good to relinquish those early leads. But the count runs full, and this time it's Jada Lee who battles back from behind. Sometimes a trip to the mound in a situation like this, it calms her down. You simplify the situation. A ground ball double play gets him out of the jam. Line drive into right field for a base hit. 1 run is in. Here comes the 2nd. No play at home. Tie ball game. Gabby Haas with a 2-run knock. 5-5 in the 5th.
And this is the bottom of the order, stepping up with the timely hits. That pitch was outside, and she punches it the other way, lets the ball travel. The clutch hitting. It's not just about getting the hits, it's about when you get them. Do you take advantage with runners on base? And the Hunters did just that.
Allie Schroeder, Rain Panjim both score on that base hit. Micah Dumais on to 2nd, Gabby Haas at 1st, and we've got a new era call to the bullpen. Jada Lee gets through 1 out, but Boston ties the ball game. Hungry for more. Don't go anywhere. More WPBL after this. to the bullpen. New York needs to quiet down this Boston Hunters offense, and fast. Claire O'Sullivan called upon to do just that.
And she became active today for the Heights. This is her first appearance in the WPBL. She's out of Australia, has been a women's national team member and competed at the World Cup. She comes into a bit of a sticky situation. The momentum really on the Hunters' side right now. She's going to try to shift that.
O'Sullivan, the Australian, she comes in after Jada Lee, who, by the way, had gone through over 5 innings of no runs allowed in the WPBL. She really struggled in this 5th inning. New York had a 5-2 lead. Lee allowed 3 runs, primarily walking batters, and then it was capped off by a 2-run single from Gabby Haas, who is now 2 for 2 today. Haas at first base, Micah Dumais at second base. Just 1 out in the 5th inning. And Boston, who came from behind against New York yesterday, has a chance to do the same today.
And continues to be allowing the crooked numbers. 7 runs in the 6th yesterday, 3 here in the 5th so far, and still just the 1 out.
Beth Greenwood, who walked just an inning ago, she's in search of her first hit of the afternoon. That's a strike.
And you bring Claire O'Sullivan into this situation because you needed to make a change, of course, but she's also a veteran. She's 31 years old. She's competed internationally for a long time. She's been in some big moments, some high pressure moments before. This is familiar to her.
It's off the end of the bat and fell. Greenwood in search of her first hit in the WPBL, her 3rd appearance over the 4 games for the Hunters. She's in the 9 hole. Greenwood sends the drive into right field and caught on the fly. Natsuki Yonatani makes the grab for out number 2.
Yonatani got that ball in quickly. She knew she had to. She did not want runners to advance and then put 2 in scoring position. Now there are still plenty of options for the infield. 2 outs, anywhere but home. You can step on that base. That is the force. Heights needed that little bit of momentum right there.
Strike 1 comes into Kate Blunt. She rolled a soft grounder to the left side of the infield and got on base from a throwing error from starting pitcher Jackie Reynolds just an inning ago. She's at the top of the order for the Hunters. 1-1 count for Blunt, who has an opportunity to drive home the leading run for Boston with Dumais on second base. Back up the middle, it got by O'Sullivan. And they stumble in the infield. Everybody will hold up. Looked like Val Perez, Chimero over at second base, just got into each other's kitchen.
A couple of things happening there. That's going to be ruled a single. So that is Blunt's first hit in the WPBL. When it goes off of O'Sullivan, it slows the ball down, giving less time to the infield to be able to make a play. But then on top of that, the lack of communication there in the middle infield about, okay, who's going to take this? Typically, the priority goes to the shortstop. That is the default. They have the momentum and the angle to make that throw to first if needed.
Claire O'Sullivan, I was watching her warm up, and she's, from a technical standpoint, very sound infielder. As ball 1 misses to Edith DeLea. She said part of that is from playing in Japan, just outside of Tokyo. That's where the technique comes from. She's really learned it and improved, but that ball was right back up the middle and a hot shot. Edith DeLea, who walked and scored the first run of the day in the opening inning, with a couple of flyouts to left field since, and 2 terrific plays from Catherine Murphy, the left fielder. DeLea grounds this first base side and foul.
What are you doing? I thought you were trying to touch that ball.
How fun is this? I'm just sitting here taking it all in right now. It's the bottom of the fifth, bases loaded, 2 outs, tie ball game, New York and Boston. It's a new era of that particular sports rivalry. This is just so fun.
That's a great point, Jenna. And you think about, as this league gets off the ground, one thing you don't want is anybody to be able to expect the outcome. And nothing can be expected in this league. Big innings come late, big innings come early. The batting has been just tremendous. As ball 3 misses outside, there's nowhere to put Edith DeLea. And the Hunters, who have officially batted around in this 5th inning, have a chance to take the lead.
If you're O'Sullivan, you want to make her earn it. Walking a run in is brutal. Attack the zone.
Ground ball to first. That's handled by London Studer, who takes it to the bag herself. Well, Boston adds 3 before Claire O'Sullivan can clean up the mess. It's a tie ball game. Don't go anywhere.
WPBL is here to stay. That is a fact. I need to come behind home plate because this is always the rowdiest section. But there is one person that I can literally hear through the clubhouse. And I need to know how you doing. Yeah, you're making some noise tonight. I'm assuming you're a Boston fan. Oh, we can tell. How many of the Boston fans out here we got? Hold on. What about my New York fans? I don't know. All right, let's go up here. Everybody good? DH3. He's spinning the tunes all season long for us. Make some noise one time. In-house DJ DH3. Up there in the back, we're chilling. There we go. Look at this. The sun's about.
We welcome you back here to Springfield, Illinois, where the Boston bullpen is busy. I'm not sure if those are pitchers, but rather position players who want to stay warm if their name is called on late in a crucial tie ball game as we head to the back innings. Jenna Becerra, Max Kelton, we're joined by A.J. Andrews on the field. We have had just a tremendous ball game as Paloma Bonach retakes the mound for Boston. The Hunters had trailed for the entirety of today's action up until just a half inning ago. Now it's up to New York to answer. Bottom of the order, Claire Eccles before it turns to the top, with Yonatani and Val Perez also due up in the inning. Way out in front of the off speed. That's strike 2. Paloma Bonach, making her WPBL debut, so far has not allowed a run. Got her. That's strike 3. There's one down.
It's a great job of utilizing the change of speeds and moving it on both sides of the plate. You could see that Eccles had been off balance in her approach, so going right after her to challenge her to be on time right here, and it pays off.
Natsuki Yonatani up at the plate here. She's the leadoff hitter for the Heights. Second highest batting average in the WPBL, just behind her teammate Danae Benitez, who's 2 batters away. Yonatani with a pair of singles today. Now, New York got on the board first, would ultimately balloon this to a 5-1 ball game before Boston would strike back. That's grounded over to third. And Schroeder makes the play. It's Allie Schroeder, who came into the game for Denver Bryant. Schroeder with a routine 5-3 put out. There's 2 gone.
She made it look routine because that was nice movement to her left, to the forehand, cutting that ball off over at third base. Wasn't there to start, like you mentioned, so just making that adjustment really quickly now that she's in the ball game.
And that's strike 1 to Val Perez. Now, Natsuki Yonatani, who does have a pair of hits today, she came into the ball game through 3 games, having been retired just 3 times. Today, Boston has done a good job to limit her production. Val Perez at the plate. She's in search of her first hit of the evening. Had a walk in the third. That's grounded to short. Stabbed at and on a hop. They got her in time. Rain Pagem from short. 3 up, 3 down, on to the bottom of the 6th.
Massive thanks to our official equipment providers. All-Star, Stuff Plus, Diamond Baseball, Episode, Hyper Ice, Jaeger Sports, and Pocket Radar. Thank you so much for your support of the WPBL inaugural season.
A little shimmy with a tie ball game in the bottom of the 6th. The Hunters coming back from the dead early on today. Deja vu from yesterday. There's Denver Bryant, who was yesterday's player of the game. She had a crucial hit in the 6th inning to tie the ball game. Remember when the Heights were up 6-0 yesterday? Similar story today, 5-1. Both games Boston has come back. Now we get into the weeds. Bottom of the 6th inning. Claire O'Sullivan returns to the hill after getting out of the last inning with the bases loaded. And Molly Pattison leads things off from the 3-hole. She puts this high in the air, about a mile up into shallow left field. And Catherine Murphy makes the grab for out number 1.
I think we saw coming back in to this inning how loose the Hunters are in the dugout right now. They seemed a little bit tense in the first couple of games. Now they got the monkey off their back. They got that first win yesterday. They know they're still in this one right now. And you have to be loose to be successful. Anytime you're playing tight, that's when mistakes happen.
You said to me before the ball game, as we see the cleanup hitter stepping in, you know, from a former player's perspective, this one is flown out toward left field. Murphy goes back, and in front of the wall, it's off of her glove. Hildenays takes a turn at second, but she'll hold up there. Well, Catherine Murphy has made so many good plays in left field today, but what should have been a routine flyout, it got lost in the lights.
And she did a nice job of covering the ground. She was right there, hit her in the mitt. Those are the ones where you're frustrated with yourself. But late innings, New York has struggled in a general sense so far this season.
Yeah, the 6th inning in particular, a 6th sense, that's funny. Yeah, this is where opponents have really produced against the Heights, including a 7-run 6th inning yesterday for the Hunters.
Double-digit runs overall that they've allowed in the 6th.
Can we get AJ involved here, our very own Gold Glover on the field? AJ, what'd you see on that play?
Yeah, get me involved. Well, when it comes to balls in the air, fly balls, when you have lights that are low, when the ball gets above those lights, it truly becomes invisible. It's almost as if a sunball is what I relate it to. Because when you look up, the ball completely gets lost. All you see are the lights. And by the time that it comes down, it's oftentimes too late. And plus, when it's dark outside and because the ball is above the light, you can't see anything. So sometimes people say in a sunball, try to block out the sun. It doesn't work trying to block out the lights because you virtually still cannot see. So unfortunately, that is sometimes what happens out in the outfield with the lights being so low.
Hey, AJ, I've got a follow-up question for you.
Okay.
Those lights aren't going away, so how do you combat that?
It really is just going to have to give yourself a perfect angle to the ball. Sometimes being able to get low, lowering your body position to kind of give yourself a little bit more time to make that catch. That can help, but ultimately, especially on a ball like that where she was on the run, it really is just trying to focus in and follow the glove, maybe try to catch it at a lower point to allow yourself more time to catch the ball, because trying to catch it up high, you don't allow yourself that time for it to come out of the light.
That's AJ Andrews. Thanks so much, AJ. Well, Claire O'Sullivan on the mound trying to bail out her defense. Now she'll face Rain Padgham. That was a strikeout just a moment ago against Allie Schroeder. But with a runner on second, Takara Hildenays, Padgham has a chance to bring home the leading run for Boston. And that's foul out of play. Just an inning ago, the Hunters batted around, would score 3. That's swung on and missed. Strike 3. Big spot for Claire O'Sullivan. We stay tied on to the 7th.
Danae Benitez looking to get something going here in the 7th for the Heights. And she has done that many times already early in the season. She made history with the first ever home run on opening night. And again, opened the floodgates. That was one of 5 that she has already hit a league high. She's been showing off the power. And she leads the league in RBIs on top of it off the scoreboard, where she has been making a difference. Multiple offensive categories that she leads this league in. Danae will not be denied. She's a leader in the clubhouse, and the captain is a leader on the field with her monster start.
Danae Benitez will lead things off here in the top of the 7th inning. It's the new era call to the bullpen. Kate Blunt, who led off for the Hunters and started at designated hitter, she's called upon to slow down Benitez, who takes a breaking pitch in there for strike 1. Benitez is 3 for 3 today with 4 RBIs. That's in around the hands.
This is the first appearance for Blunt on the mound as well, trying to get locked in.
Back up the middle for a base hit. Benitez is now 4 for 4 on the evening.
You know, I said it last time, but sometimes singles like that, hard line shots, impress me after home runs even more because you're not overdoing it. Swinging for the fence is not how you hit home runs. You have your same approach. That's the consistent thing that you can have from at-bat to at-bat. And so in addition to that home run, 3 singles.
And 4 stolen bases also leads the WPBL. Nobody in front of her with nobody out. Kylie Lawners digs in and takes a ball just away. It's been nearly impossible to retire Danae Benitez. At this point, she is putting up numbers that you can only dream of. And Lawners, who takes ball 2, facing Kate Blunt. This is one of the toughest situations to come into for your first pitching performance, your first appearance of the season. Benitez goes. Greenwood throws down and not in time. She swam around the tag. Benitez has her 5th stolen base, and the Heights have a runner in scoring position.
She had a great jump. We know she has the speed, but what sealed the deal, the ball beater, her hand got in there on the base, and she went to the corner, made the tag come as far as possible over to get her. That is a veteran move.
Dude, that is awesome. I mean, true baseball purists see a move like this and just your mouths open up, your jaws drop to the floor. It's seriously impressive that she's able to do that.
The far corner of the base, that's where you keep your hand. But not only that, you saw her literally move her other arm, so it wasn't taggable. I mean, just total awareness of the situation.
I mean, high baseball IQ, and the throw from Greenwood was sharp. It was on the right side of the bag. It was there in time.
Yeah, it beat her there. But that's why the play's not finished.
Yeah. You know, as an infielder there, those are the plays you imagine you got to be kicking yourself a little bit. You have to get your head right.
When on the tags too, that's why sometimes players can get caught up in going to tag the body. What you really need to do is bring that glove down to the base. That is where the base runner is trying to go anyway. They have to find the base at some point. So if you bring that glove down to the base, it's more efficient, it's faster, and more likely to actually get them.
You know, Danae Benitez, by the way, is a superstar, and we are seeing that through the first 4 games for the New York Heights. This is a player that is maybe going to be the face of the league. As for, yeah, there's Danae, a little smile for it too. Well, Kylie Lawners walked. She's on first base. There's nobody out. We've got a pinch hitter at the plate. Deanna Ibarra stepping in.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for number 17 rookie. Number 8, Deanna Ibarra Munoz.
I heard you trying to roll your R's.
I tried. I knew you would catch it too. All right. Well, you look at Ibarra. Is that a little bit better?
Ibarra.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Jenna can teach me a thing or two. She has a chance to be a hero in a big spot here. Nobody out, 2 aboard, and we've seen the speed at second from Benitez. Ibarra comes in, 5th spot of the order for Catherine Murphy. That's a strike. Once you get through the 3 and 4 spots of the order, really 1 through 4 in this lineup for the Heights, everything else is manageable, at least to this point. That's off the end of the bat. A slow roller to second. And they'll get the sure thing at first base as both runners advance. Benitez to third. On to second, Kylie Lawners. There was one down.
Is that ball good? Yeah, send it in.
Productive at bat, right? Put the ball on the ground, especially to the right side, to allow those runners to advance. And now you have something brewing here for the Heights. You have 2 in scoring position, so possible to not only get the go-ahead, but maybe an extra run for a little bit of insurance. Hunters, of course, the home team, so they're going to get to bat no matter what after this. You want to do as much damage as possible before then if you're New York.
You know, one thing that might have gotten lost in the sauce a little bit, how good Paloma Benach was in relief. She had 2 scoreless innings. Was it 2 or 3? 2 scoreless innings from what I remember. And, you know, for a player to come in a really dangerous situation, to be able to get out of that situation without allowing a run, and then 2 more innings on top of that. Benach in her WPBL debut, this is one that she'll remember for a long time. But she'll remember it a little bit more fondly if Boston can hang tight here and pull out a win late in this ball game. We have a pinch runner at second base for Lawners. That's Willen who comes on. And at the plate, it's Kira Izumi. Strike 1.
She came in to pinch hit. Last time popped up to shortstop, sticking in there now offensively.
The pitch. Strike 2. Uzumi at the plate. You got Madison Willen on second, Benitez on third, and there's a shot of the infield. Everybody's playing tight on the edge of the infield grass.
Need to. Have to stop that run.
That is in there for a strike on the outside edge. The breaking pitch from Kate Blunt dots the I. 2 away.
And I talk about allowing your defense to work quite a bit as a pitcher, but sometimes, especially with runners in scoring position, get the out at the plate. Beautifully placed on that outside corner. That drop, unbelievable.
Goes to the fastball here, and it's skied into shallow right field. And the catch made to close out the 7th. Kate Blunt allows 2 runners to reach with nobody out, and then records 3 outs in a row. Let's move to the bottom of the 7th.
Join us for a 6:30 first pitch. Kelsey Whitmore and the San Francisco Firebells take on Lodi Davis and the LA Queens. Get your tickets at WinterscoreBaseballLeague.com, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Jemile Weeks giving his Hunters a little bit of wisdom. On to the bottom of the 7th and a chance to win it. The Hunters were down 5-1, now fired up with the bottom third of the order due up and a chance to beat New York and take the first 2 of this 3-game series. Claire O'Sullivan got out of the last half inning with minimal action. She allowed one base runner aboard on an error. Aside from that, struck out a pair. She has been really good in her WPBL debut and looking to keep things rolling as we see Micah Dumais stepping in. Dumais deep into center field. Eccles goes back and makes the grab over the shoulder. That was not a sure thing.
She's got the glasses on out in the outfield. AJ talked about the visibility that's out there in the green, but she stuck with that play. And coming up, Gabby Haas had a big hit, nicely done to the opposite field. Brought in some runs for the Hunters. This bottom portion of the order has been productive. Everyone's gotten on base for the Hunters today.
Gabby Haas tied the game for Boston. Now can she win it? 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Haas takes ball 1 outside. That's strike 2. Claire O'Sullivan, set at the chest. Got her! Haas goes down on strikes. It's the first time the Heights have been able to retire Gabby Haas this evening.
The veteran on the mound, stepping up in the big moments. That's a great location from O'Sullivan. Not just the execution physically, but the mindset that she has, having so much experience under her belt.
Lexi Hastings is set up to pinch hit here. Hastings, a round 1 pick, the 20th overall pick in the WPBL draft, a 23-year-old lefty. She hails from Holly Springs, North Carolina, has 1 plate appearance in the WPBL. She was hit by a pitch. That was on opening day, or at least the first game of the season. But she's got a storied collegiate career. A 4-time All-Big East honoree at UConn, and the 2024 Big East Player of the Year. That was in softball. Let's see how she does in the 7th inning as the Hunters look to get a 2-out rally going. Ball 1 downstairs from O'Sullivan. Hastings bats in place of Beth Greenwood, 9-hole. If O'Sullivan can't get through Hastings, it'll turn to the top. That's strike 1.
You can see the confidence that O'Sullivan has just in her presence. That's half the battle, truly.
Off the end of the bat and foul for strike 2.
Hastings played softball at UConn. She was the Big East Player of the Year back in 2024. 4-time All-Big East honoree, has some program records for runs and stolen bases.
Off the inside of the bat, it's over to second and bobbled by Chamero. No play. The Hunters have the winning run on base.
So she hits this ball hard. Hesitating right there just a touch. You have to make that decision immediately. Do you stay back on it, or do you go up and smother that ball on the short hop? So still a chance here for the Hunters.
It was ruled an error as Lexi Hastings still in search of her first WPBL hit. Kate Blunt did earn a hit in her last at bat. Now she can help her case as she fouls this one away. She started in the leadoff spot of the order, a designated hitter. She made her WPBL pitching debut in relief and has held New York in check. Blunt went around for strike 2. And in a pickle, Lexi Hastings on her way to second. Benitez fires her out. Tag for out number 3. Danae Benitez. The bat, the arm, the heights. Tied with the Hunters. 5-5 into extras. Into extras for the first time in WPBL history. It's baseball rules with a runner on second base in extras. So Studer, who was the last out in the seventh inning, moves to second base as the base runner. Elodie Chimero will lead things off from the 8th spot in the order, and a new catcher in for the Hunters. This is Hyuna Kim. And Kim, who was the 4th overall pick in the WPBL inaugural draft, did not start today, but she comes in the 8th inning as a defensive replacement to catch for Kate Blunt on the mound.
We're going to take this pitch.
You look at the situation like this, and New York wants to get on the board and apply the pressure for Boston. That's where the small ball comes into play.
Yeah, not a surprise to see the thought to potentially sacrifice here to advance.
Popped up behind home plate. Kim had no chance at that ball. Rocky Henley is going to call for a bunt. If she's going to call for Chimero to lay one down, in this situation, you got to get the ball in play and on the ground. That's ball 1.
That was close. Bunt's not completely off the table. She doesn't have 2 strikes. She's been showing it early so far, though, when attempting.
Ball 2, Kim keeps it in front of her. Remember, Allie Schroeder came into the ball game as a defensive replacement in the 4th inning. She's at third base. Micah Dumais is the first baseman. She's getting her first start over there. Line drive, base hit in the right field. Studer held up at third. The ball is bobbled. They'll keep her there. That was out to Molly Pattison. And you imagine Rocky Henley might be kicking herself if that run doesn't eventually score.
a bit of hesitation from Studer there. I mean, you have to think, do you want to send the runner there when you know you have outs to play with? You didn't have to, but the second that it was bobbled, there might have been enough time. But still, you got something cooking here with runners on the corners and no outs.
Frankly, I think it's a really smart decision from Rocky Henley. You know, you don't want to make it out at home. And with runners at the corners and nobody out, they'll lay one down. Blunt with no play, and the bases are loaded for the top of the order. Claire Eccles with an infield single.
Great idea. And that comes from reading the defense as well. Knowing that you might have an opportunity here if you lay it down. The corners are back. Not a lot of time for them or for your pitcher to get to that ball. Plenty of time to get down to first. And again, if you're New York, trying to get some more runs as well. Not just one, get a few more to have a cushion.
The bases are loaded. Yonatani takes ball one upstairs. She's 2 for 4 today with the second best batting average in the WPBL. She came into the evening batting over 700. Here's the 1-0. Line to left center field and down for a base hit. It rolls into the alley. Studer comes home. Chimero scores. The throw to the plate. Kim lets everybody else get back to the bag. But a 2-run double puts New York on top. Natsuki Yonatani. A huge nut for the top of the order.
She has been hot at the plate all season long. This might be one of her biggest hits yet. Exactly what it means to take advantage of runners on base and taking an extra base while you're at it. The Heights all smiles right now because they're starting to put it together here in extras.
Nobody out. Val Perez at the spot. And she ducks out of the way of ball one.
How important was that bunt, though?
Absolutely. 3 straight singles to open up the inning, not to mention the runner that was already on second base. The extra innings rule. That ball is upstairs. 2-0. Man, Kate Blunt, who got out of a hairy situation in the 7th with 2 in scoring position, she didn't allow a run. This inning a little bit different. Her WPBL pitching debut, Blunt. And Perez takes ball 3. Things don't get easier. In fact, the toughest challenge is in the on-deck circle. Danae Benitez, who leads the WPBL in virtually every offensive category, is due up next. There's Benitez, who is 4 for 4 today, including her league-leading 5th home run, which came in the 3rd inning. Here's the 3-1. Perez swings and misses for a strike 2. Of course, the top of the 8th inning, Boston will have a chance in the bottom of the frame. But you gotta stop the bleeding and give your offense a shot. That's ball 4. The bases are loaded for the hottest hitter on the planet. Whether it's adult slow pitch softball, whether it's the Major League Baseball, whether it's the WPBL, Danae Benitez is the most dangerous bat in the world right now. 4 for 4, 5 home runs in 4 games, bases loaded in extras. Benitez swings and misses.
She wanted that pitch. In this moment, you just have to stay centered. Deep breaths.
That's a strike. For context, she now has hits in 14 of 16 at-bats.
Those 833 and now it's higher somehow.
It's unbelievable.
Unreal.
Kate Blunt with an 0-2. Benitez swings and misses. That's a big pitch from Kate Blunt. Benitez goes down swinging. First time she's been retired this evening.
Only the third in the entire season. Massive out from Kate Blunt, not afraid to go up. And that's a little dangerous because we've seen Benitez get on plane, but a little over aggressive on the swing. That is just what the doctor ordered for the Hunters.
Well, Claire O'Sullivan has made her WPBL debut today. She came on as a pitcher. Boy, has she been sharp. And now pinch hitting for herself. Better yet, hitting for herself in the 5th spot.
Lawners started in the cleanup spot as the DH. Once O'Sullivan now came in, she's hitting in that spot.
Yeah, thanks, Jenna. The 4th spot of the order with the bases loaded, 1 down. That's yanked outside for ball 1. Now let's be clear here. Kate Blunt, with a ground ball double play, has done her job here. That's all she needs to give Boston a chance in the bottom half of the inning, and they'll start the bottom in the 8th with a runner on second. The pitch. O'Sullivan takes a strike. That said, if Claire O'Sullivan can tack on to this lead, she's in line for a win, regardless, frankly. She's in line for a win in her WPBL debut. That's ball 2. Ball 3. Well, the bases are loaded. There's nowhere to put Claire O'Sullivan. The last thing you want to do is walk in a run and give the Heights an extra cushion.
And I said before, you want to make them earn it. Giving them the free passes, that's where it gets extra frustrating.
Popped up behind home plate and into the stands foul. The count runs full. Jenna with 2 outs and a full count. Of course the runners are going. There's 1 out here. What would you expect?
They have to read it, and typically what a manager would say in this situation, or a third base coach, is see the ball through the infield, especially for those runners at second and first, thinking about a 2-base mentality.
Payoff is swung on and fouled against the netting.
See the ball on the ground as well, because a hot shot, let's say, if you hit a hard ball right at the third baseman, line drive, easy for them to double you off at third base. That's the worst case scenario. So you have to see the ball down.
Well, the infield corners are tight. The middle infielders are at double play depth. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the payoff. Lined into left, or at short, better yet, where the ball is caught on a fly. That's Rain Padgham. A little bit of a blooper there.
That was a nice job by Blunt to come back in that situation. A lot of pressure. Jamming her up. Producing the soft liner.
Kiana Ibarra-Munoz steps in. Deanna Ibarra, better yet. The pitch. That's ball 1.
It's a good take, a touch low. Not what you're looking for, at least early on in the AB.
Flown to center. Gabby Haas has a beat on it. And that's out number 3. New York scored 2 before the Hunters were able to record an out. But the bases loaded. The Hunters need a pair. First extra inning ball game in the WPBL. Played by baseball rules with a runner on second base in extras. That's Hyuna Kim, who represents the last out of the last inning. It was Lexi Hastings who was run down on the base path, but Kim came in for her. She'll be on second base. And the top of the order due up. Kate Blunt was at the plate on the final play of the 7th. She'll be followed by Edith DeLea, Pattison. Molly Pattison checked that. As ball 1 misses outside to Blunt.
Of course, Hastings came in to hit for Greenwood, who was behind the plate. That's where Kim went to replace defensively.
Line drive, base hit into left field. Kim held up at third. Initially, Kim was getting the wave from third base coach Caravan Dew. However, it looked like one of the fielders might have gotten in her way. She stumbled on the way to third base and maybe wisely held up at the bag after the base hit from Blunt.
On Blunt now with her first 2 hits in the WPBL, and yes, you can see Kim stumbling just a touch coming around third. You have to pick up your manager, your third base coach. But still, again, not a bad situation. We saw this for the Heights. They had runners on the corners with no outs. Different approaches, though. We saw the thought to bunt from the Heights, whereas swinging away all the way was Blunt.
O'Sullivan back on the bump. She too is making her WPBL debut. Edith DeLea at the plate, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run. Benitez keeps it in front of her. Got a 1-1 count here. Speaking of firsts, Edith DeLea in search of her first hit. And check that she does have one on her record to this point. She's been one of the more common occurrences in the Hunters starting lineup through 4 games. Big opportunity to produce in the 8th. Here's the pitch. 2-2 now. Claire O'Sullivan. Line drive into right center field. It drops for a base hit. And Kate Blunt got in between second and third. She's out on the base path. DeLea takes the extra base. She's into scoring position. She represents the tying run after she drove home Hyuna Kim.
Nice piece of hitting, of course, splitting the gap nearly on that right side, but a nice throw getting it in from right field. And really the base running, more of a mental mistake. You want to err on the side of aggressiveness versus hesitation, but a little bit of hesitation there on the base paths.
Natsuki Yonatani in right field, who had the hit for New York to give them the lead, does a great job getting that ball in quickly to cut a runner off the base path. Now there's one away. Molly Pattison. She's been the hottest bat for the Hunters. 2 for 4 today. Reached base 3 times. It's outside. Pattison, one of 3 lefties in the starting lineup. But despite her being a lefty, the second baseman, Chimero, is shaded toward the back. There's a big hole over there. Ground ball, throw for a base hit. The runner from second, DeLea, she's waved home. Relay throw to Benitez, and she's out at the plate. You live and you die on the base path. Boston hunting for the tying run. But now there are 2 outs, both outs made on base running mistakes.
You never want to run yourself out of an inning. The tying run, though, still on base, so it's one of those things where you can't dwell on it either. Turn the page really quickly, have that short-term memory, because you got to be ready for the next pitch.
Pattison takes off. Benitez scoops it up, but no throw to second. And Boston has the tying run now represented at second base. 3 straight hits for the Hunters to open up this 8th inning, but only 1 run has scored. Heldonese on the ground to short. Perez scoops it up with a backhand, fires onto first, and got her! Ball game! In extras, it's the Heights 7, the Hunters 6. Claire O'Sullivan and her WPBL debut earns the win. Natsuki Yonatani in the top half of 8 gives New York a lead, and they would hold on to win it and even the series at 1 game apiece.
And the offense for the Heights showed up. Double-digit hits for New York tonight, but the defense showing up in extra innings is what puts them over the edge. Key and crucial moments they were able to execute, and they battle back, they punch back after dropping the game to the Hunters yesterday.
Natsuki Yonatani. Man, she was just tremendous tonight. A 3-for-5 day, including what would be the game-winning hit. That's tonight's Capelli Sport Play of the Game. All the talk has been about Danae Benitez, but Yonatani has been a stud.
The crack of the bat on that one. She tattooed that ball through the gap. The timely hitting continues. She did it with the bat, but she did it with the glove too. Her birthday was yesterday. They took the loss, but today she made up for it.
She's tonight's Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game as well. Natsuki Yonatani. It's time you learn the name. She's responsible for the 2nd best batting average in the WPBL and another tremendous performance. Boy, she was good. She came up late in the defensive end, made some big throws to keep the ball in check, get a runner off the base path in the 8th inning. She had that game-winning hit. All the talk has been about Danae Benitez, and rightfully so. She's been one of the hardest to retire in the WPBL. But Natsuki Yonatani is our player of the game. She's with AJ Andrews. Oh, check that. Danae Benitez is with AJ Andrews after a 4-for-5 day today. AJ, let's send it down to you.
Thanks, guys. Yes, I think 3 things are for certain: death, taxes, and a Danae Benitez home run. She got another one tonight. Danae, honestly, how do you do it?
I just swing the bat. I've put in a lot of work and preparation to get to this point. So now that it's showing on the field, I couldn't be more grateful for the timing of it.
Danae, you not only lead the league in home runs, but you also lead the league in batting average. What has been the key to so much consistency, but as well as power that we're seeing today?
I think just working as much as I can. Before here, I've been playing banana ball. I have a facility to work at every day. Team USA, we had excellent coaching, prepared me for this perfectly. And yeah, I'm just being in the moment, seeing every ball as it comes in and hoping for the best.
We talked a little bit at BP, and you told me that before 2026, you had only had 1 home run in your entire career, which is, I'm sure, something that many people are shocked to hear. What do you feel like was the difference maker, the work you put in that unlocked the power you have today?
That weight room. That weight room got me right. The weight room and my mindset too. Like my mindset right now is just like, you can't beat me. Like we talked about it the other day, you can't beat me. So Kate got me in the last inning, in the 8th inning, kind of pissed me off. So next time, like it's on, I'm going after it. But yeah, so it's just a mindset.
We talk a lot about your offense, rightfully so, but also your defense. You also throw runners out. Tell all the New York fans what they are getting in a player like Danae Benitez, offensively and defensively.
Man, you're getting a lot. You're getting a lot of swag, a lot of confidence, but just like a team player. Like I want to do anything for my team to win, and tonight we did that, and being a part of that was just special, and I'm glad I could have my team's back.
How did that change the momentum of the game, you feel like, throwing Lexi Hastings out?
No, I think that was huge. My team has to learn how to keep it together when things start going a little wild, and I think tonight we did that, and that play is a huge momentum shift and onto our side, so I'm glad I can make that play and just keep my eyes open. I know she's fast over there, so I have my eyes on her.
One more, because everybody, New York fans, want to know, we would definitely probably call you unstoppable at the plate, behind it, and in it. But how would you describe yourself as a player?
Ooh, a dog. I'm a dog. I'm going to do anything to win. I'll put my body on the line. Like, I don't care. I'll do anything to win.
It's New York.
You heard? Yeah.
You heard from Danae Benitez. It's New York, you heard. You already know what you're getting from her. A lot of hard work, and from the Heights team in general. Congratulations.
Thank you, Heights on top. Let's go.
AJ Andrews with awesome stuff, and the Heights are howling. They take the second game in the series behind another tremendous showing from Danae Benitez at the plate. New York gave up a 5-1 lead in the middle innings, but would come back in the first ever extra inning game in the WPBL, a 7-6 final. How fun was this? We will be back on Wednesday. So for AJ Andrews, Jenna Becerra, and our entire crew, I'm Max Kelton. It's the New York Heights 7 and the Boston Hunters 6 in 8. We will see you Wednesday.